Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Figure It Out Productions. The following video is part of our Quick Shoot series.
Hey guys, welcome to PlayLoad. This is all my video game pickups for the month of November 2013. Unlike most PlayLoad episodes, I mean, you guys know the routine by now, I hope. I show you what I've got, what I think of it, and then see you guys later. That type of routine, which I will do. But this is actually going to be kind of a two-part deal. The second part of this video will be a story on how I got a lot of this stuff much cheaper than you might think. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. But the first part will be the normal procedure, the way we usually do this. So first up, the Xbox One. Now, I've done obviously a few videos on this. You guys have noticed probably that I've been really busy this month making a lot of videos. So I hope you guys like them. The Xbox One, I still have to do a 1 week after video. I did, basically, when I got the PS4 here, which I'll talk about soon, after a week with it, I talked about some of my more updated thoughts on it, and I need to do the same with the Xbox One. I will do that, but it'll probably take another week just because my schedule is really full right now. But I have a lot of complaints about the console, but that doesn't mean I hate it, and I still am enjoying it. So, yeah, I've got an Xbox One. Whoopee. I got a couple of games for it. I have Dead Rising 3 and Rise Son of Rome. Now, Dead Rising 3 I actually really like. Dead Rising 3 is... I mean, if you played Dead Rising 1 or 2, then you know what Dead Rising 3 is. It's the same thing, but bigger and just more badass. It just uses more of the power of the Xbox One to give you more of that experience. So, I really like that game. As for Rise Son of Rome, I like the game, but it's incredibly repetitive. I mean, I think if you know that going into it, you'll probably like it more than if you're expecting some big, epic, gladiatorial type of game to just, wallop you with awesome. It doesn't really have that. It's pretty, but the gameplay, like I said, it is repetitive. That doesn't mean I dislike it. Again, if you kind of have low expectations on it, then you'll probably like it more. That's just kind of my thoughts on it. So moving on, I got, of course, the PlayStation 4. Again, I did a bunch of videos on it. Please go check those out. I like the console. Has its problems. Has potential. Same with the Xbox One. Both have their problems. Both have potential. And I'm enjoying both. But the games I've got Killzone Shadowfall, and I've got Knack. Now, Killzone Shadowfall, I only got for one reason. It is an exclusive title for the PS4. Knack is the other one. There's only two. Physical games, I should say. Same with this. Although I didn't get Forza, I guess I could have got that, but I don't really like racing games. But anyway, Killzone Shadowfall, I've never played any other Killzone games. It was kind of Sony's version of Halo, and it didn't really do as well. I know a lot of them are well received. This one has been very poorly received, and in my opinion, the reason is it feels more like they were just trying to use the fact that they had the PlayStation 4. They had more powerful hardware, so they made a game that's a first-person shooter that's almost too expansive. Like, it's kind of hard. It's not always intuitively obvious, like, where you're supposed to go or exactly what you're supposed to do. Not saying I don't like a challenge, but sometimes it's just downright, like, puzzling, like, why that's even the case. So, as a result, it gets kind of boring at times. That's just my opinion. Doesn't mean I would return it or anything. I like having it, but not by any means my favorite first-person shooter. And I do like a lot of first-person shooters, just not so much this one. It's not horrible, but it could have been better. Knack, on the other hand, people are fucking ripping this game apart. It's a platformer, it's an okay platformer. I like it. It is repetitive. But it's not, like, fucking awful. People look at it like, oh, that game's shit. Like, it's not bad. Like, if you've played Jak and Daxter, or you've played Ratchet and Clank games, I mean, those games are all made by Mark Cerny, who is very famous right now, because he might be getting us Shenmue. I doubt it, but who knows. He is the lead behind this. I mean, it's kind of the same experience. Just, obviously, the fact that they have the PS4, they're using more powerful hardware to make it. So if you just kind of understand going in that it's kind of that type of game and it's okay and they're basically trying to use it as a tech demo, then there you go. That's what the game is. It's not bad. It's just not that amazing either. But anyway, moving on. They are not the only two next-gen consoles I got something for. I also picked up stuff for the Wii U. I have Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. This is, of course, just an HD redo, if you will, of the GameCube title of the same name. Now, here's the thing, guys. Nothing against Zelda, but I've never really sat down and played the series. I want to. I realize a bunch of heads probably just turned when I said that, but I would like to play it. I just never have the time. You know, I've never committed to it. I've just somehow kind of missed it, even though I have a bunch of them and I want to play them. But maybe a bunch of you must be Legend of Zelda fans. The thing is, I understand that The Legend of Zelda has a lot of different timelines, but I'm not really sure, so I guess what I'm saying is I'm not really sure where to start. Do I start with the first NES game and just kind of work in chronological order, or is there some better way to do it that I don't know? So, yeah. So I can't give you any kind of review on the game. I can tell you, I believe it worked with the Pro Controller thing. I was playing with that for a bit. As I recall, it was much earlier this month, and I was just kind of testing it out, just kind of get a general sense of it. But yeah, so if I could get some advice on what you recommend as far as Zelda, I'd love to hear it. Also, if anybody's played this version and the GameCube version, can you tell me if there's any reason I would pick the GameCube version over this? But anyway, moving on. I also got New Super Luigi Bros, or New Super Luigi U. This is an interesting release. It is like physical standalone DLC. That's the best way I can describe it. If you played New Super Mario Bros. U, this is the same game, except it's Luigi, and you can have Nabbit instead of Mario. That's your fourth character. It has extra levels that the first game did not have, but I'm assuming the first game is missing levels, or this game is missing levels from the first one. It was kind of, I think, an attempt to just kind of bolster some sales. By all means, if you like Mario and you like that style of game, it's worth picking up. That's probably why it's only $30 to begin with, because they knew it was basically an expansion. It is also unique because it's currently the only Wii U game that's not in a blue case. It's green, obviously, for the Year of Luigi. Now, how they determined it was the Year of Luigi, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure he was in the first game. In fact, I mean, if we're counting that Player 2 version of Luigi that we kind of know, then yeah. If not, if technically Luigi didn't exist until 30 years ago, my bad. Moving on to another Mario game. I got Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U. This game is getting ridiculous reviews. People are calling it Game of the Year. They're saying it's going to be amazing, that it is amazing. Now, obviously, I haven't beaten it yet or anything like that, but I did play it for quite a bit, and I liked it. You know, when I get a game, especially because I buy a lot of used games, you know, you kind of have to test it out and make sure it's running and everything. Now, in this case, it was a brand new game, but I still do it anyway. I usually don't try to invest into the game much on the first try just because I want to have the time to really do it justice. This game actually kept me sitting there longer than usual. It kept me sitting, and I don't mean it was laggy or anything. I mean, I enjoyed it. I just kept playing it. I got through a few levels and I was like, this is going to be fun. I look forward to having enough time to play it. So if you have a Wii U, this is a must pick up. Definitely. Yeah, definitely has to be picked up. And it functions with the Pro Controller, which is awesome because the Pro Controller, that one, I can barely point to it, this one, that makes the Wii U so much more fun. Don't get me wrong, I actually do like the gamepad, but I love having a real controller, which is why this release is also awesome, because it uses it, and I'm pretty sure New Super Mario Bros. U actually doesn't support it. This one also supports it, I'm pretty sure. I think, well, it says it just has a gamepad, but I'm pretty sure I was playing it with just a regular controller, so yeah. I like that Nintendo's doing that. They're actually listening to that feedback, and people are saying, like, look, the gamepad has its pluses, but I really just want a controller, so I'm glad that more and more games are supporting it. Now on to, this is going to surprise a couple of people, an original Wii game, Mario Kart Wii. Now, this game is considered pretty good. This is now actually packed in with the Wii Mini that got released in the US, finally, after being a Canadian exclusive for almost a year. Well, in North America, it did get a release in March in Europe. I know, it happened. The game is fine. I just hate using the Wiimote. I hate that controller. I've always hated that controller. The gimmick was lost on me. I bought one in '06 on launch date. I played Wii Sports. I thought, oh, the Wiimote is really cool. Then you tried to play it with anything else, and you're just like, this sucks. The controller, I mean, not the game. And yes, this game supports the Wii U, or not the Wii Pro controller, but not the Wii U Pro controller. So as a result, I can't play this game in my Wii U unless I use the Wiimote because I don't have a Wii Pro controller. I want to pick one up, but like, do I really want to drop like $40 to play this game when I already paid money for it? I don't know. It does support the GameCube controller, but that means I have to play it on an original Wii as opposed to a Wii U. Now, that's not really a complaint. It's just a statement. I wish basically that the Wii U supported the Wii U Pro controller for Wii backwards compatibility. Does that make sense? That would be really nice. So as a result of all that kind of first world problem hassle, I haven't really played this game at all. But, you know, come on. How are you going to top Mario Kart 64 anyway? So, on top of all that, I got one singular Xbox 360 game. I got DuckTales Remastered. This is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, Capcom, who is now apparently in dire financial straits, decided to market this game, and everybody was like, oh, that's going to be fucking awesome, I can't wait to get it. And they decided at some point to do a digital-only release. Now, if you've been watching my stuff for any length of time, you know I hate digital content. It's just not my thing. I like to have the physical thing. Like, that's just me. It's not everybody. I'm not saying you have to like physical and fuck digital. If you like digital, love it. Great. That's wonderful. That's just not my taste. And so even though I wanted the game, I was like, I can't support that. I can't do that. I need a physical copy. That's just me. So Sony, or not Sony, but Capcom tried to appease people by kind of meeting them in the middle. So for the Sony PlayStation 3, they released a version that's in a physical case but has no disc. It has like a little pin inside of it, and it gives you like a digital code. And people were like, what the fuck is this? I know, I watched a bunch of unboxings, and people were just like pissed off. Because I was like, what the hell's in it? And that's what a lot of people said. They were just really mad, and I can't blame them. So apparently they made the decision like, look, we need to make a physical release. So they did that for the PS3, and apparently at some point decided to do it for the Wii U and the 360, and they released them all on the same day. So I decided to pick up the 360 version because that's my console of choice for the 7th generation, the Xbox 360. Granted, the Wii U is obviously 8th generation, but I just didn't feel any real need to get it for the Wii U, because at least with the 360 I'll get the achievements. So that was just my opinion. That's what I went with. Actual gameplay, I only played it for a little bit. Honestly, I just didn't have much time, but it seems fun so far, and I look forward to eventually getting into it. Other interesting thing about this release is that it's the only Xbox 360 game I have that now uses the Xbox One logo. You'll see more and more of the late 360 games use that, so that's pretty neat. Keep an eye out for that. Now, moving on. I got Beyond Two Souls for the PS3. Now, I have not played this at all. And the reason I haven't played it is I really, really want to play it. I want to get into it, but I just don't have the time. I work 7 days a week on videos. Not just this channel, but other channels I do things for, other side projects I work on. I'm very busy, and I want to just have devoted time. And I don't want to spoil anything for myself or anything like that. So all I could do is pick it up and just have it for when I can finally play it. And I got to give credit to Sony, man. They're doing a really good job of going after interesting exclusive titles, mature exclusive titles. Like, obviously Nintendo is really good at their first-party IPs and having exclusives for their system to make it stand out. But Sony, dude, you guys are... I don't even really like the PlayStation brand, as the irony of all of this. But they're doing a really good job of tracking down exclusives. And Microsoft, dude, I hope you guys follow suit. Yeah, you got a couple here. And Dead Rising 3 is fucking awesome. But I want you guys to stay the course. Make some solid first-party titles. Give me a really good reason to keep using the Xbox One. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, back to this. I look forward to playing it when I finally can. And then I got Little Big Planet 2, which is interesting because I don't have Little Big Planet 1. There was no special reason to get this. It was just an exclusive title, and I thought it would be neat to get. Now, that's the end of the, shall we say, the first part. Believe it or not, there's nothing else left. as far as games and stuff goes. But I want to explain to you, because I'm sure you're thinking like, God damn, that is a lot of stuff as far as like, it's expensive, right? You're thinking like, that is an insanely expensive amount of crap. And you're partially right. I actually saved a crap ton of money on this stuff. And I want to, if you're interested in hearing how I did it, I would love to explain it to you. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. If you watched my Xbox One unboxing, you'll know that I saved $70 off the console by basically collecting change, you know, like pennies, dimes, nickels, quarters, whatever. You take it to a Coinstar machine, you throw it in there, and they give you an Amazon gift card if that's what you want, and they don't charge you a fee. So I just collected change, you know, over the past couple of years, you know, just put it in a jar somewhere, and then bam, big savings on a huge investment item like that. And I'm sure you're thinking like, well, that's still your money. It's like, yeah, but I don't use cash. I don't use change for anything. So the only purpose it had was to become just a digital discount off of my Xbox One. So that was awesome. With the PS4, on the other hand, my cell phone company sent me a $50 gift card, just like a prepaid debit credit card type of thing. So I just turned it into an Amazon gift card and got $50 off the console. So right there, it's $120 in savings, and I got it off Amazon, so there's, at least in my state, which is Illinois, there's no shipping and no tax. So that's a ridiculous amount of savings right there. So now we focus on some of these games here, right? Like I said, I got these off Amazon, and Amazon is very good about price matching. And they're very good about refunding you differences when they adjust their prices if you're within a certain window. So in both of these cases, I needed games, so I picked them up. They were both $60. I did it. And then a few days later, they dropped their prices on both of these games to $49. And then they just went ahead and refunded me $22. So while that wasn't intentional, it was really awesome. And that's one of the best things about shopping on Amazon is they're just so good at that, giving you money back when they change their prices. So if you don't shop on Amazon, you really should. You'll save a crap ton of money. I'll talk about the PS4 games in a bit, because we first have to focus on the other stuff. Now, okay, Target, I don't know if you guys have heard of Target. Depends on where you are. In the US, I'm sure you've heard of Target. In Canada, you've probably heard of it. I don't know if they have it overseas. Target is like a big, department store that kind of sells everything, similar to Walmart. If you have that. I know there are Walmarts in Europe. So they were running a sale on video games for a week earlier this month, whereby you buy 2 games, you get a third free. Whatever the cheapest one is, you get that free. So if you bought like 3 $60 games, just bam, $60 off. Now that's a good deal, but it's not an amazing deal. Amazon actually, when you usually undercuts them to begin with, and then they don't charge you the shipping or the tax, a lot of the times you'll find that Target deal was actually only slightly better. So you're thinking like, well, why are you mentioning it then? Well, on top of that, and this is where it gets kind of convoluted, so I apologize, Target had a second deal going on that they clearly did not know was happening. Target had this thing where if you took video games, any video game item, to their main registers, not like the upper department area where the video games are, but if you took a video game down to the bottom registers, like the ones that can print coupons, every 4th video game related transaction that went through the register, it would print off a coupon that got you 30% off of 2 video games. So what you could do, I didn't come up with this, but I read about it and it was an amazing idea, so I tried it and it totally worked. You could go up to the video game department and grab like a little, like $1 pre-order card. A pre-order card is like a thing that just lets them know to hold a copy for you. It's really nothing significant. So you could get 10 of those, and you could bring them down to the main register. And you explain to them, I want to do 1 transaction at a time, and I'm trying to get these coupons to print. And they were pretty cool. They always understood. So I do 1 transaction, here's $1. 1 transaction, here's $1. All the way through. By the end of it, you end up with like, 3 coupons generally. So then you take those pre-order cards you just paid $10 for, take them back over, return them, get your $10 back, but you keep the coupons. So now you're in a situation where Target is selling 2 games, get 1 free, So essentially they just wipe off one completely, which means as far as the computer is concerned, you're only buying 2 games. And then you give them this coupon for 30% off of those 2 games. So as a result, when you do all of the math, you end up with about 54% off of every game, which is a ridiculous savings. And the best thing you had to do was just make sure you group the games properly. So in my case, I got Beyond Two Souls, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, and Mario Kart Wii together, which means this was 40, so they just wiped it off straight. And then they took off 30% from this, 30% from this. So again, you do the whole math, and that's what you end up with. In case you don't believe me, this is my receipt. You can see the prices there, the original price on the right, and then refund value. See that? That's how much they charge you at first. And then you go down here, Target coupon, minus $33. And, well, there you go. There's your total. $84. That's a huge savings. Now, I did the same thing with this game, and this game. They just wiped off Little Big Planet 2. And then they took off a discount from DuckTales and from New Super Luigi Bros. U. I did it a third time, but I'm not sure I'm keeping those games, so I haven't bothered to bring them out here. But that's actually not where this ends, believe it or not. It's really not. There's one other final little piece. Obviously, Super Mario 3D World and these PS4 games. So what happened here, Amazon, like I said, is really good about price matching. So what Amazon did is a bunch of people were hammering them about this Target deal, and they decided to meet us a little bit like halfway. They decided to do a buy 2 PS4 games and get a third free. Now, the part they screwed up is they took so long to make that decision, they had already started shipping out PS4 games. And that meant that everybody who had bought one or even bought multiple was screwed. And so to appease those people, they decided to upgrade them to a buy one, get one. I had pre-ordered both of these games, right? So they went ahead and just sent me 2 codes for 2 more free PS4 games. Now, I wanted Injustice. If you guys remember from my unboxing of the PS4, hopefully you watched it, they were supposed to send me Injustice, Gods Among Us. They sent it to me, but the case was shattered. It was completely destroyed. It was like they shipped it with an anvil on top of it. I don't know what the hell was up with that, which never happens with Amazon, but that was the case. So I told them, and they said, okay, go ahead and return it, and they pay for shipping and everything. So I sent it back to them, and they said, all right, unfortunately, we have no more copies of the game. So what we're going to do is just give you credit, and you can get something else. And I was like, okay. So they went ahead and gave me credit, and I bought that. And that literally cost me absolutely no money. That was free. That became the free game I got as a result for buying one of these. And now you're thinking, like, okay, well, where's the other one? Well, in the other case, to be perfectly honest, there was nothing else on the PS4 I wanted. You know, I didn't need any multiplats. I just wasn't going to do that. So I asked them, like, look, you know, I contacted them, their customer service, and I was like, can I just convert that into something else? And they were like, sure. So ironically, what I ended up doing is getting a multiplat, but for the Xbox One, I ended up picking up Lego Superheroes. Now, you'll notice, of course, that it's not here. It hasn't arrived yet. So they said, okay, fine, and they sent me that. And the funniest part about all of this is that they lowered the price on Lego Marvel Superheroes from 60 to 40, which meant they ended up deciding to give me $20 back, $20 I didn't even pay. Then, on top of that, they lowered the price on Killzone from 60 to 53, and they refunded $7 back to me. And in the case of Knack, they lowered it from 60 down to, I think it was 40, or maybe it was 45, and they gave me that difference back as well. So, when you pull back and you see all of these things, you'll realize that, while I still spent a bunch of money, it's nowhere near as much as you might think. And, yeah, I mean, I hope you guys recognize how fucking ridiculous that is, but how awesome it is at the same time. So, yeah, that's kind of it. I did pick up some stuff for Black Friday, but it was all through Amazon again, so it hasn't arrived yet. And I'll show it to you next month. Got some cool stuff, and yeah, so it'll be awesome. Anyway, I'm sorry. I know this took way longer than usual. I hope that you got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you guys later.